Good day, everyone. My name is Mary Jessica E. Pastor, and I'm going to report the material economics lab. So, we are the group 3. The material economics lab focuses on how people maintain extensions of themselves through material possessions and maintenance of particular lifestyles. People are likely to purchase products that can relate to their personality. Possessions tells a lot about their owners, and the decisions that go into the purchase of items and certain services is dependent on a number of factors. First, financial constraints, or we have a limited money. So we can't afford unsa man atong gusto na gamit or items. The availability of items and services. So kani kay nag-refer sa limited edition or limited items. And the influence of money, family, and friends. So naay mga possessions nga di ta ganahan, but because of the friends, family, ma-influensahan ta nila na magpalitaan na nga items like sa mga K-popper. So ma-influensahan ka sa mga friends nga K-pop, so namay mga merchandise or light stick nga na. So ganahan sa kaana mo palit. So next. The most important factor is whether these items and service fall under wants and needs. So kabaw naman taon sa atong mga kinahanglan sa sarili o sa ato ang gusto sa ato ang self. So atong needs, mga shelter, foods, and clothes. So for me, ang gadgets kay nabilong na siya sa needs. Kay karon nga panahon, mas need na to ang gadget para sa to ang online learning. So, in the process of acquiring materials good, people generally consider two things. First, the utility that concern with how things serve a practical purpose. Significance concerned with the meaning assigned to the object. Next, kay the I Shop, Therefore I Am, is the work of Barbara Kruger. It became an iconic artwork being reproduced on items such as shopping bags as well as other consumer products such as t-shirt. So I Shop, Therefore I Am was borrowed from the French philosopher René Descartes. I think, therefore I am, that the phrase means that provides someone is implied thinking. Kruger tries to imply with I Shop, Therefore I Am is that the public is no longer defined by what it thinks, but rather by what they own. So the consumption production, sustainable consumption and production, refers to the use of services and related products, which respond to basic needs and bring a better quality of life, while minimizing the rise of natural resources and materials as well as the emission of waste and pollutants over the life cycles of the service or product. So, ani mag-minimize the gamit og mga natural resources para sa kamaayuhan sa ato ang environment or ato ang planet. Like sa Naga, kay giban na nila ang plastic. So, no single use of plastic na ang Naga. So, more on gipanggamit lang nato kanang dili siya malata or di makaapekto sa ato ang environment. So, next is the worldwide consumption and production. A driving force of the global economy rests on the use of the natural environment and resources in a way that continues to have destructive impacts on the planet. So, the natural environment, i-rest na itong paggamit sa guba sa ato. Example, ligalaging, kaingin. Ang kaingin kay maka-apekto na sa to ang ozone layer tungod sa aso. Nya, ang illegal laging maka-cause na flood or landslide. Nya sa ato ang makaguba na impact sa to ang planet. That's why we have a climate change. So sustainable consumption and production is about doing more and better with less. It is also about decoupling economic growth from environmental degradation, increasing resource efficiency, and promoting sustainable lifestyle. can also contribute substantially to poverty alleviation and the transition toward low carbon and green economies. The lastly, conscious consumption is a social movement that based around increased awareness of the movement of purchasing decision and the environment and the other consumer health and life in general. It is also, so for me, it's a social movement that based around increased awareness kung unsa ang impact sa atong mga gipangpalit. So sa environment, unsa impact sa ato ang environment at sa ato ang health. So example sa environment kay yes, mga plastic bags sa gihapon, di ba? Mga plastics. Dili naman yun na nato magamit sa paglabay na anak. Dili siya dali malata. Pwede siya makakause og flood. So sa ato ang conscious health kay kanang mga sigarilyo. Mo na makapal hunang-hunang nato kung sa impact ana atong gipamalit. So yung sigarilyo na impact makaguba na og makasira na sa atong health. So next, it is also concerned with the effects of media and advertising on consumer. Many aspects of conscious consuming have been practiced throughout, but not enough on received. So kita, more on palit ako kung sa atong ginakitaan sa advertisement, sa like sa mga magazines, sa online, sa TV, more on sa Shopee, kung sa atong ikita ng mga items, ganahan ta, so palit ta, ana, nga mga gamit, ano mo, conscious consumption. Madata o ma-persuade ta sa ila advertisement. So, this is the end of my report. So, we'll continue ako. Thank you, everyone.
I am April Grace Navarrete and I am the second reporter of Group 3. So now I'm going to report about psychological or sociological consumption, identity and consumer culture, and the problem with consumerism. So first is the psychological or sociological consumption. The sociology of consumption is an active area of research studied by sociologists around the world. And sociologists who study consumption look at how what we buy relates to our values, emotions, and identities. So diri is mag-base ni siya depende kung unsay paliton nato. For example, kanang ako, kanang ang ako ma-afford dra is kanang mga cheap, mga barato. So makaingon jud mo nga kanang dili kayo ko dato, dili ko kwartahan kay maura na ako ma-afford. And if someone kanang for example siya maka-afford siya og mahalon kanang mga branded, makakuan jud ta nga kanang kwartahan na siya, dato siya. And also kanang dili man jud ta mo palit og products or something nga di taganahan or kanang dili kailangan, di ba? Next is the identity and consumer culture. It is a form of material culture facilitated by the market, which thus created a particular relationship between the consumer and the goods or services he or she uses or consumes. So diri is the relationship between consumer and the goods or services nga iyang gigamit or iyang gi-consume. Next, the problem with consumerism. Consumerism is a social force to make business more honest and responsible towards consumers. Consumerism can be traced back to the onset of capitalism in the 16th century in Europe. And the growth of consumerism can also be attributed to politics and economics. The benefits of consumerism. First is the economic growth. Consumerism drives economic growth. When people spend more on goods or services produced in a never-ending cycle, the economy grows. So diri is ang economy kanang mo taas kung ang tao kay mas more on mo gasto, mo palit or something. Next is boost innovation and creativity. Since consumers are actively looking for the next best products or services to buy, producers or manufacturers are under constant pressure to innovate. Cons of consumerism. First is the environmental degradation. Increasing demand for goods put extensive pressure on natural resources such as water and raw materials. Consumerism also results in excessive use of energy. Consumerism also encourages the use of chemicals which are known to degrade the environment. Next is the moral degradation. Increasing consumerism tends to shift away societies from important values such as integrity. Instead, there is a long focus on materialism and competition. So people became more materialistic, and people tend to buy goods and services they don't need so that they can be at par or at a higher level than anyone else. Next is the higher debt levels. Consumerism also increases debt levels in a society. The number of people taking short-term loans as payday loans to buy luxury goods has increased drastically. So many short-term loans are channeled into constructive use today. Next is the mental health problems. Consumerism increases debt levels, which in turn in mental health problems like stress and depression. Trying to follow the latest trends when you have limited resources can be very exhausting to the mind and body. So consumerism affects the overall well-being of people negatively in a long run, since research has proven that people don't get valuable and long-lasting fulfillment from materialism. So here is the reasons for consumerism. The major causes for the evolution of consumerism have been the continuous rise in prices, underperformance of product, quality of the service, shortage of product, and deceptive advertising. So first is the rising prices. The value of rupee was a rupee in 1949, matching its full value, but now it is worth less than 10 paise. So the pricing theory holds that price is directly related to quality and quantity. Second is the adulteration. Unscrupulous traders indulge in adulteration. They make illegitimate and abnormal profit through adulterated products. So adulteration involves cheap ingredients mixed with a product intended for the sale. Next is the duplication. Duplicates are made for all types of products like automobile components, medicine, blades, pens, watches, clothes, and even currency note. Consumers are not able to differentiate the original products from duplicate. Next is the artificial demand. When the price of the product is steadily increasing, some traders buy in bulk and hoard them. So they put up a sign, "No stock," in front of their shops, though stocks are in abundance with them. The fifth is the substandard products. Substandard products are made using inferior raw materials or by cutting short the required production processes. After a product is well received in the market, some manufacturers deliberately downgrade the quality of the product without reducing the price. Next is the product's risks. Some products are valid or potent only for a particular period. So, on the expiry of the particular period, consumption of such items proves to be detrimental to health. Next is the misleading advertisement. Misrepresentation of fact, false claims, and cheating do occur in advertising. An advertiser may take a tall claim about the usefulness of his product just to lure the customers to buy them, whereas the product may not be as useful. So, consumers should be protected against deceptive advertisements. Next is the warranty and service. At the time of the sale, sellers guarantee a good performance of the product they sell. So if the product becomes defective after being sold, buyers are not given any remedy for the defect noticed in the goods. Excuse me. Fitness of product. Salesmen are supposed to assist the buyers in making wise selection of goods. So the product that buyers buy must suit their needs. Product fitness refers to product quality, durability, and suitability in relation to the purchase objective of the consumers. But most of the goods are sold by pressurizing the buyers. So it's like ang mga sellers or ang maninda kanang ilang ipugos nga para mapalit ang ilahang product. So that's it. So next is the consumer exploitation. Next, problems of assembling products. Products of the modern days are a combination of many products assembled to perform a special function. So several such components are not visible to the eye and therefore cannot be inspected by the consumers. So even if they can be inspected, consumers may lack the technical knowledge to assess them. So kani siya kay if naay kanang dili man jud ka-identify kung naay lahian naay mga components nga lain or nalain. So dili man ta maka-identify kay wala tay naatay some things nga wala nahibaw-an. So next is the augmenting rights and powers of buyers. In a free democratic society, as sellers have certain rights subject to the condition that the buyers are provided with safe and healthy products. In the same manner, the buyers have certain rights. They have the right to expect the products to be safe and worth the price they pay. So augmenting means to make greater, more numerous, larger, or more intense. So patasan. The genesis of the consumer movement lies in expanding consumer rights. So that's it. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Jisabel A. Kimada from BSC Math 1E Evening. So I am the third reporter of Group 3. I'm going to discuss about the spiritual self. What is spiritual self? Spiritual self is the most intimate, inner subjective part of the self. It connects to the satisfaction of having an ability to argue and discriminate, of one's moral sensibility and conscience. So, in short, spiritual self is the most intimate subject part of ourself. Without spirit, we do not exist. Spiritual self also have the connection of satisfaction we feel. Every action or behavior we achieve, it has also the ability to argue and give good and bad comments on the subjective manner of one's moral, ability to choose what's right from wrong, and that is conscience. Ang ability or the power to use the oral sensibility and conscience may be seen through expression of religion, its beliefs and practices. Cultural rituals are also manifestation of what people believe in. Seeking the meaning of life is a journey that the spiritual self is on. Next, religion, a set of cultural beliefs and practices that usually include: first, a belief in anthropomorphic supernatural beings such as spirit and gods. Second, a focus on sacred supernatural with a feeling of reverence and awe. Third, presence of supernatural energy that is found in supernatural as well as physical beings and objects. Fourth, performance of ritual activities. Fifth, articulation of worldview and moral codes through narratives and stories. Last, provide creation of social bonds and social control within a community. Ritual. The performance of ceremonial acts prescribed by the tradition or sacred law, a specific, observable mode of behavior exhibited by societies. It is possible to view it as a way of defining or describing humans. So we have the three fundamental characteristics of rituals. First, a feeling of respect, awe, admiration in relation to the sacred. Pagbati og respeto or giving respect in relation to the sacred that highly needs, value, appreciate and respect. Second, dependence upon a belief system expressed through myth, mga totoo or theories. Third, symbolic in relation to its reference. Symbolize of relation to its reference or unsa iyang mga ginikanan. So next, some world religious beliefs and practices. First, Christianity. Christians believe in the Holy Trinity, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. Eternal life after death will be achieved through faith in Jesus Christ, God the Son, who came into flesh to spread the good news. He died on the cross for the sins of humanity. So, Christianity, they believe there's only one God and He created the heavens and the earth. These divine Godheads consist of three parts. First, the Father, which is the God Himself. Second, the Son, which is Jesus Christ. Third, the Holy Spirit. The essence of Christianity revolves around the life, death, and Christians' belief on the resurrection of Jesus. Christians believe God sent His Son Jesus, the Messiah, to save the world. They believe Jesus was crucified on a cross to offer the forgiveness of sins and was resurrected 3 days after His death before ascending to heaven. So, the custom and practices of Christianity. Sacraments of baptism and communion are practiced by Christian churches. Baptism symbolizes birth in Christian world, while communion is an act of remembrance of Christ's love. Christmas and resurrection are the two major celebrations in Christianity. Second, Buddhism. Buddhism believes that life is not a bed of roses. There are suffering, pains, frustration. When people suffer, they want to experience the goodness of life and avoid disappointments. This can be resolved by practice of meditation, acquiring wisdom and deeper understanding and acceptance of things as they are. Buddhists also believe in the non-violence principle and the acquiring of wisdom through the reflection of Dharma. Customs and practices of Buddhism. Two types of meditation practices. First, Samatha, which means mindfulness of breathing and development of loving or kindness. Second kay Vipassana, which means aims at developing insight into reality. Third, Hinduism. Hinduism covers a wide range of the traditional beliefs and religious groups, so there is no single founder or leader in Hinduism. Hindus believe that existence is a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, governed by karma. It is a concept where the reincarnated life will depend on how the past life was spent. Vedas are sacred scriptures of Hindus. Customs and practices of Hinduism. Diwali is the Diwali is the festival of lights, while Navratri is the festival of 9 nights, which celebrate the triumph of good over evil. Fourth, Islam. Muslims believe in Allah, their one God. They believe in the unity and universality of God. Muslims have strong sense of community. Islam means willing submission to God. The holy book of Islam is called the Quran. Customs and practices of Islam. Muslims believe in 5 pillars of Islam. First, Shahada, which means there is no God but the one true God and the Muhammad is the messenger. Second, Salat, the prayer that is practiced 5 times a day. Third, Zakat, monetary offering for the poor 2.5% of Muslims' assets. Fourth, Hajj, early pilgrimage to Mecca. 5, Sam, fasting during Ramadan. Last, Buddhism. Belief of Buddhism the Jews believe in the God of Abraham, the God that liberated slaves from Egypt to Canaan, the promised land. Jews believe in the coming of Messiah, the Savior. Their sacred scripture is called Torah. Custom and practices of Hinduism. 5 major festivals observed by Jews. First, Rosh Hashanah, which means the New Year. Second, Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Third, Pesach, the Passover. Fourth, Shavuot, Pentecost. 5, Sukkot, the Tabernacles. The Jewish Shabbat begins on Friday evening at sunset and is an important time when families gather for the Sabbath meal. So, conclusion. Religions, rituals, and etc. are all part of expressing the spiritual self. How to manifest the belief is dependent on the person. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Rayme A. Ramirez, and I'm a student from BS Ed Math 1A Evening, and I'm a member of group number 3. So I'm going to discuss about the political self. Developing a Filipino identity, values, traits, community, and institutional factors, strengths of the Filipino character. So what is political self? It is a public identity that one makes and constructs about him or herself. It refers to how an individual engages himself to political issues. So it means it is how a person participates in a political system as a social citizen. So this section discusses the nature of politics, elements of active citizenship, and how they shape one's political self. So, what is politics? It came from a Greek word politika, which means affairs of the cities. It is an art or science concerned with guiding or influencing governmental policy. It also means that the winning or holding control over a government. Then this is the set of activities that are associated with making decisions in groups concerned with achieving and using power in a nation or society. So, when we see the words guiding or influencing governmental policy or winning and holding control, first word that comes into our mind is the word power, because the one who holds power holds influence. Power is the capacity and ability to direct or influence the behavior of others or the course of events. According to Aristotle, man is by nature a political animal. This is why, because a man is a social being and that people naturally drawn to various political involvements in order to satisfy their social needs. So, a man is a social being. He cannot live in isolation because he is not self-sufficient. Even though he will live, kanang even though that man is very intelligent, he's very madiskarte. Um, Still, he cannot live in isolation. Di siya pwede makapuyo nga siya ra usa. That's why it is in the quotation that no man is an island. Um, that's in order to survive, it compels him to live a collective life. So, according to Aristotle, the father of political science, this collective life necessitates a political mechanism of rules, regulations, and leadership. So that is why collective life it needs political mechanism, it needs rules, regulations, and also leaders to facilitate those rules and regulations. So an organized society needs some system to make and enforce rules for orderly behavior in society. So that's why it needs political mechanism of rules, regulations, and for a society, for the people to live in a society in peaceful and very organized. So this led to the evolution of a political system with elaborate governmental institutions and procedures in each society. So therefore, that is why man is a political animal. The political science is one of the oldest subjects of study in this political life of man. Politics is not only a mere institution of governance, but also a mechanism for achieving societal goals. So, however, the political self is not only shaped by one's political affiliation or beliefs. One sense of accountability should be manifested in promoting certain advocacies through healthy political engagement. So, this led to active citizenship. It referred to a broad range of activities, including petitioning. Petitioning is a formal written request. Protesting, event at which people gather together to show strong disapproval for something. And also campaigning, a series of events designed to produce a particular result, like and voting, the official choice that you make in an election or meeting or etc., and volunteering for charitable groups. One of the most important examples of active citizenship is participation in the democratic process. Active citizenship is one of the most important steps towards healthy societies. So, leadership. Leadership is a process by which an executive can direct, guide, and influence the behavior and work of others towards accomplishment of specific goals in a given situation. So, the important aspect of politics is the capacity of influencing and leading people. Leadership. A good leader has a good communication skills. That leader knows how to socialize. He or she knows how to adopt personalities, to gather it, and then to strategize on how to have an exchange of communication with other people to gain more productive and more beautiful ideas to be created. Also, one of the characteristics of a good leader is also optimistic. That leader has the capacity to attain the goal because of being a positive thinker. Yes, and also that a good leader have faith in his members. So, that leader, for example, me, I am a leader. So I will give a task to one of my member. I will give this type of task to that to my member, because I know that this type of task is fit of his skills and abilities. That's why that's that's one of the characteristic of a good leader. Then a good leader also need to serve as an inspiration to your members and to everyone. So, types of leadership. First one is the democratic leadership, commonly effective. Democratic leadership is exactly what it sounds like. The leader makes decisions based on the input of each team member. Although he or she makes the final call, each employee has an equal say on a project's direction. So this type of leadership style is participative and communicative. The communication has two ways. It is give and take. According to research, it is very effective style of leadership, especially when in terms of the company. All people, the leader or the members, or I mean the employees, were being benefited. It is also to have freedom of expressions for the members or employees, and at the same time, the leader can filter those suggestions and combine it to the point that they can create a unique idea. So the second one is the autocratic leadership. It is rarely effective. Autocratic leadership is the inverse of democratic leadership. In this leadership style, the leader makes decisions without taking input from anyone who reports to them. Employees are neither considered nor consulted prior to a direction and are expected to adhere to that decision at a time and pace stipulated by the leader. So this type of leadership is directive but non-participative. The leader is always giving directions, but wala siya gibuhat. This type I mean, if in terms of the company and you're one of the employee, for sure you will resign, because this is the way of them, this is way of the leader sa ilang pamamalakad. It is their system. Based on research, this type of leadership is causing high level of turnovers. It means mag-ilis-ilis og members or employees, and it's not good for the company. That it is this is the way of leading the leaders members. And when it comes to employees, I mean mag-ilis-ilis og members, and then it is not good for the company in aning system. And when it comes to employees, because the leader will adopt another member and train another again. So it is kuan kanang kapoy na kaayo, and bati siya for the company. Third is the laissez-faire leadership. It is sometimes effective. If you remember your high school French, you will accurately assume that laissez-faire leadership is the least intrusive form of leadership. The French term laissez-faire literally translates to let them do, and leaders who embrace it afford nearly all authority to their employees. So this type is non-participative. The leader is hands-off. So kanang mo ni mga leaders nga walay paki. The positive side of it is must steer ang minds sa members or employees to the point that they can create their own ideas and suggestions. But there's a negative side. It is the leader that cannot monitor what his members had done, because hands off. Let's proceed to the developing a Filipino identity, values, traits, community, and institutional factors. The Filipino culture and values The complexity of Filipino culture is compounded as this has been exposed to continuous and various streams of culture from without. The difference between values and traits. Values, it is the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something, while traits, it refers It referred to as a distinguishing characteristic, typically one belonging to a person. So, Filipino values and traits. First is honor or karangalan. The Filipino values can best be seen from the aspects of personal and social relationships. Personally, the Filipinos value more their honor and status than anything else. Majority of them takes care of their honor or karangalan rather than wealth. In decision making, the Filipinos usually consult and take into consideration the consensus of the family members as the feelings of those who are to be affected. Second one is the hospitality. Socially, the Filipino give more emphasis on social relationships. This can be seen through the hospitality they give to their visitors and friends. They have to mingle with people, particularly with friends and relatives. They engage themselves in mutual cooperation, which is best pictured through the bayanihan. So, can be seen in the image. Lastly, in terms of emotion, the Filipinos are friendly. They smile at people, even with strangers when they are approached. They are warm and simple. So, proceed to strands of the Filipino character. First is the pakikipagkapwa-tao. Filipinos are open to others and feel one with others, regard others with dignity and respect, deal with them as fellow human beings. Second is family orientation. Filipinos possess a genuine and deep love for family. Third is joy and humor. Filipinos have a cheerful and fun-loving approach to life and its ups and downs. Fourth is the flexibility, adaptability, and creativity. Filipinos can adjust and to adapt to circumstances and the surrounding environment. They're creative, resourceful, and quick learners, and they also accept change. Fifth is hard work and industry. Filipinos have the capacity for hard work given proper conditions. They are being productive as always. Sixth is the faith and religiosity. Filipinos have deep faith in God. Our innate religiosity enables us to comprehend and genuinely accept reality in the context of God's will and plan. And lastly is the ability to survive. Filipinos make do with what is available in the environment. So that's all about the political self. Thank you and God bless.
Good day, everyone. My name is Nico Ginebria from BS Head Math 1A Evening, and I am from Group 3. I am about to report digital self, selective self-presentation, and impression management. So, digital self, selective self-presentation, and impression management. So, when we say self-presentation, this is the processes individuals use to control the impression of others' social interaction. So basically, you could control the impression of others on how you present yourself. And there are three types of self-presentation. First, the authentic. Goal is to create an image consistent with the way we view ourselves. So basically, you're trying to present yourself of who you are. You are being true, being genuine, and being pure. And that is the authentic. Next, ideal. Goal is to establish an image consistent with what we wish we were. So basically, you're going to present yourself of what you wanted to be, what you like, or there is this someone you wanted to impersonate. Next, tactical self-presentation. Goal is to establish a public image consistent with what others want or expect us to be. For example, me as a student. So of course, if I'm going to present myself, the public image would expect us that I would act as a student or I would act as an educated one. Next, we have the impression management. This is the process in which individuals try to influence the perceptions people have about something or a person. So, these individuals will try to influence the perception of others by showing something or a person. For example, a company of burger releases a picture of their product. By just looking at the picture, the company wanted to influence our perceptions that their burger is delicious. They are trying to influence our perception by showing the picture of the product, and that is an example of impression marks. So here's the pictures that the company shows us. So they are trying to influence our perceptions that their burger is delicious, and that's how impression management works. The self in the digital world. The millennial generation is known to be the generation of digital natives because millennials were born in an era of rapid technological advancement. The advent of technology comes with a corresponding challenge to ensure that technology is used properly, and that's what we call digital citizenship. So when we say digital citizenship, it refers to the norms of appropriate and responsible behaviors towards technology use. So when we say refers to the norms, it refers to the standard of appropriate and responsible behavior. So next, one concept that's related to the concept of the digital self is the online disinhibition. So when we say online disinhibition, it is defined as the lack of restraint one feels when communicating online. So defined as a lack of restraint, so basically means that there are these individuals who lack control of themselves when they are communicating online. And there are also these individuals who lose their inhibition in social interactions because there is an aspect of being present only in the virtual, or this is what we call a sort of anonymity. When we say anonymity, it refers to someone who wanted their identity to remain anonymous or unknown. And this also served for them that are naturally shy and introverted to express their thoughts without threat to their self-esteem. We have these two types of disinhibition, the benign disinhibition and the toxic disinhibition. So when we say benign disinhibition, this refers to the kind or soft disinhibition. So example of this, speaking about emotions. So usually of this who speak about this emotion are someone who celebrated their anniversary or anniversary. Of course, they are going to post it online and hashtag feeling happy. So those are just sample of speaking about emotions, fears, and wishes. We have also this showing kindness and helping others. So in this showing kindness and helping others, if there is someone who posted updated their profile picture into blackpink, like literally all the spaces on their profile picture was blacked. So we already knew what happened to that person. It could be they lose someone, or his or her girlfriend break up, or boyfriend break up with him or her. And we tend to comment on that profile pictures, condolence, or are you okay? Do you need help, or what happened to you? So those are showing kindness and helping others. So next we have the combating loneliness through online interactions. So usually before I do combat my loneliness by just walking out and or sleeping, but now I do combat my loneliness. I'm just immediately grab my phone and do online interactions. We have this next, finding emotional support. Sample of this is those someone who got ghosted from their crush, or someone just got from breakup, and they usually tend to chat us that they'll ask for advice, what I'm gonna do. Those are just sample of finding emotional support. Next, we have the toxic disinhibition. From the word itself, toxic, it means it is bad, inappropriate. So we have these rude languages. So sample of these are the coarsest languages, or words that could hurt others. Next, we have the harsh criticism. Criticism is good, for it can improve someone's performance or someone's ability. But to the point it already came to the harsh criticism, it could already harm someone, and it may lead to depression and stress. However, it always depends on that person how he or she handled that criticism. Next, we have this anger, hatred, and threats. This pornography and violence. Pornography is very common here in the Philippines, and a fact that during the 2018 up until now, the Philippines was able to get in the top 10 as one of the most porn watchers in the whole world. and that is something awakening to us because it is bad for our reputation. Next word is cyberbullying. This example of bullying is somewhat similar to bullying, however it's already in cyber, so which means it already happens in the digital world. And usually those person who get this cyberbullying was artists, since a lot of people look forward for them if they're doing good. If they just made a one mistake, a lot of people will bully them. And usually artists who always files this case cyberbullying. We have also this threatening, humiliating, downgrading, or looking down someone, spreading rumors, or they are this your friend who posted online that you are pregnant, and be careful what you do because it may lead to confusion or trouble. Next way, making fun of others. Example of this, a teacher, a girl teacher. The scenario was President Duterte went to Mindanao and kissed the land where the bomb happened because there are these people who died during that bombing, and the girl teacher replaces the land where President Duterte kissed into a dog food. So basically, this girl teacher treats our president as a dog. So what happened to her? Her license was got from her. She was not able to work anymore. So imagine you are working for that license for almost 5 years and it was got from you by just one click. So guys, always think before you click online. Next, we have the cyber harassment or exploitation. This is somewhat similar to cyberbullying. However, in this part, it already includes nude pictures, or the hackers used your nude pictures and posted online. So those are the sample of cyber harassment or exploitation. So next, we have the 9 elements of digital citizenship. So first, we have the digital health and wellness, physical and psychological well-being in the digital world. Mainly refer to psychosocial and physical well-being in the technological world, or else that increase use of technologies by people for their well-being, originally related to healthcare delivery in how technology could be used to improve patient care. Digital health must be viewed more broadly to include the psychosocial well-being of children growing up in the digital age. So next, we have the digital security, electronic precautions to guarantee safety. So this is the protection of this online identity. Criminals are finding new ways to operate and steal information from digital users for their own personal gain. Digital security is an all-encompassing term which includes the tools you can use to secure your identity, assets, and technology in the online and mobile world. So, for example, if this is your account in Facebook, because what you posted or chat in a Facebook would reflect on you, because that identity, that Facebook that you are using is you. So be careful on your Facebook, and there are these ways in how to protect yourself from hackers. First, you can associate your mobile numbers to that Facebook account of yours, or your Gmail. You could associate your Gmail to your Facebook account. So in this case, if the hackers log on your Facebook to another device, this Gmail will send you a message that your account has been logged in from another device, and in this case you could prove someone that you are not the one who are logged in your Facebook in that time. So next, we have the digital rights and responsibilities. Next, we have the digital rights and responsibilities. These freedoms extended to everyone in the digital world. So, digital rights and responsibilities are those human rights and legal rights that allows individuals to access, use, create, and publish digital media, or to access and use computers or other electronic devices and telecommunications networks. So, on the other hand, digital responsibilities are those responsibilities for us that we need to treat others with respect regardless of income, ethnicity, gender, and physical location or disability. So, for every right that you have, there's always these corresponding responsibilities. Next, digital literacy, teaching and learning about technology and its use. This refers to an individual's ability to find, evaluate, and compose clear information through writing and other media on various digital platforms. So, this digital literacy is very important and relevant for us students and teachers, especially this new normal mode of learning in which classes are usually conducted through online, and we must be digitally literate in order for us to, because when we say digitally literate, it refers to someone who are able to use and know the use of laptops, cell phones, or someone who could create links from Google Meet and access Microsoft Offices such as Word and PowerPoint. So next, we have this digital law. Digital law deals with society's behavior with using technology. On the internet, people get in trouble with the law or by the schools by doing the wrong thing online. Some example of what digital law deals with are plagiarism, illegal downloading of music, hacking, and creating worms of viruses. So, this plagiarism is one of the common things that usually teenagers and even graduating students do. So, example of this, there was this classmate of my teachers. They were able to graduate from college. However, the teacher during her teaching time, the thesis that she made was plagiarized. So that means that the thesis that she made was just a copy from the just she copied it from the internet. So what happened to her? She was not able to work anymore. She was just lucky that she was not got in jail. So next we have digital access. It is the ability to fully participate in digital society. This includes access to tools and technologies such as the internet and computers that allow full participation. However, we know that there are still a lot of people who lacked the digitals, and they were not able to buy such things because it's expensive, and unfortunately not everyone has complete digital access, and therefore they're not able to fully participate in digital society. So next we have the digital commerce, electronic buying and selling of goods. Digital commerce is a type of e-commerce used by an organization that delivers and sells products online. So e-commerce is used by companies that sells news, subscriptions, documents, or any form of electronics content, and digital commerce company collects payments, handles customer refunds, billing, and manages other accounting functions on online publishers' clients. So, for example, for this in the Shopee. Shopee could be include in this. However, Shopee was already a type of e-commerce. So next we have the digital communication. It is the transfer of information, messages, or electronic exchange of information using signals or digital over a wired or wireless medium. So sample of this is the Facebook Lite. We have the Messenger, Instagram direct message. We have this Gmails, Yahoo, and many more. So the last digital citizenship is the digital etiquette. It is the integrity or sense of self-management and general responsibility for your actions as well as yourself in the internet, and treating people like you would in real life. Some basic digital etiquette would be like respecting others, following the rules of the website you are using, or just being kind to others. Those elements listed above emphasize the proliferation of technology in the world, how they are used for specific purposes. Suffice to say, technology is here to stay. There is a need to adapt to the dynamic changes that technology entails. Technology offers limitless opportunities. Its presence is inevitable. However, technology need not to control the society and people's life. Thank you for listening, and that's all. Bye.